welcome on in. I am Robin, also known as Robine. This is my small crochet business where I make and sell crochet plushies. I have been prepping for quite a while to sell my crochet plushies at a convention. I've been very excited to do so. In this video, you will see all of my inventory that I have been making throughout the entire year, but mostly the past couple months. You will see how I create barcodes, and then you will see some drama for foreshadowing. You will see some drama. You will also hear about my hurricane issues. I am in Florida, so we recently dealt with quite a couple natural disasters. Feel free to keep watching, grab a whip and a coffee, and I will see you in a second. If you are not already subscribed to this channel and you like crochet content, it'd be cool if you hit the subscribe button. This is a long one. Stay tuned, friends. Hey there, it is October 3rd in the morning, and I'm going to be going out very soon, but I have 1 hour before we have to leave, and I've got some yellow Sweet Snuggles light next to me. I'm going to be making a free Pikachu pattern by Shine Crafts. Let me share with you the pattern. Here is her Loso Pikachu pattern, and I feel like when I made this before, I didn't realize this was a Loso pattern. I've also got some 12mm safety eyes here I'm going to be using because my whole felting dilemma ain't working. Let me just share with you what I did. So I switched out my housing units on my Cricut. This is the regular Cricut housing unit, and I put in a deep pressure or deep point blade, and just to find out that I ripped up half of the felt and I needed a rotary cutter instead. So you learn as you go. I didn't know. I watched quite a couple videos, and I guess I didn't connect the dots that it was a rotary cutter and not a deep point. I don't know why I had that in my head, so here we are. I'm going to be making a trip out to, I think, Joann's today to pick one up because they're the only place that has the housing unit and the rotary blade. But it is not ideal because I didn't want to have to make that stop today. I really need to cut these details out. I need to finish those projects because if you remember from my last vlog, I didn't quite finish everything on my to-do list. I have a lot of plushies unfinished in a bag over here, so I'm going to work on this Pikachu for now, and then I will get that blade and work on those later. Let's see how long this takes me. It's been 30 minutes. Are you ready to see? He's a little bit derpy because I used 12mm eyes, and I realize now that they're a little bit tiny. But look at him. I modified it a little bit to make it Loso. It is actually not a Loso pattern because you're supposed to sew on the ears, tail, and head. So I made the head no-sew, which is why it probably looks a little more derpy, but I gave him the red cheeks like traditional Pikachu, and I think he looks so cute. I make Eevee and the evolutions, but I do have to go into town, so I will check in with you when I'm back. I know, it's late. I know I look crazy. I know it's loud in here because I have my 3D printer printing, and I just finished Cricuting something successfully for the first time in a while. I used a rotary blade that I had to find today to cut my felt, and look at it, look at it, look at it. This is so satisfying. Are you ready? Look at how satisfying that is. Oh my goodness. Well, a couple of these pieces are ruined because of my own fault, but like a lot of these, look at this. Oh, and then yeah, that's like, this is actually from black felt. That's not dog fur, believe it or not. But look at that. The more you know. But it's loud in here and it's late. Fun fact, if you've been following my pattern writing journey, I did post the tester call for Shrek and Fiona. I'm not calling them Shrek and Fiona, so right now I'm calling them Phoebe and Sean. Because those were like the simplest funny names I could find, but I asked for suggestions, so if you want to go comment in my tester call, if you're watching this before the tester call closes, which actually there's no way because I'm going to be closing it tomorrow or the day after, so I'm sorry actually. This is either where I failed and I made these too tiny, or it'll be satisfying. Ready? So far. Curious, I am tired, and it's 11:02 on October 3rd, so we are almost an hour away from my birthday celebration. By celebration, I mean I'm going to post my pattern a little bit early. I'm double releasing my ninja characters, Kakashi and Jiraiya, Pervy Sage, and Copy Ninja. They're going to be going on my website and on my Etsy, and they're going to be on sale for a week or two, I think, probably a week. There's going to be a sale on all my patterns. I'm going to be putting out another pattern for the Fiona and Shrek duo. Yeah, that tester call is already out, and I'm just in convention prep mode. I'm really just trying to finish up the projects that I had before, so I'm trying to finish up the plushies that needed felt detailing. Obviously, that's why I'm doing felt. And tonight I'm going to pull out my iPad, which I already have, and I'm going to do my inventory tracker, which I know I've been talking about, but it's finally time to add up the price of all the plushies and add SKU numbers and barcodes and tags, because we're less than a week away and I need to just do it. If I don't do it now, this is when I have the time to do it. So I think it'd be fun to bring you along with the process. For the actual tracker portion, I'm going to be, don't mind me, I'm plucking the felt off of the sticky Cricut mat. The inventory tracker I'm going to be using is by my best friend here on YouTube and in life, Victoria Comfort Loops. She has a couple patterns of her own out right now, but she does a lot of markets. And who else does a lot of markets? Or I did, at least. I'm like not doing markets right now, but I have a convention. That's why you're watching. And I need to track my inventory still. To be continued. It's a little bit later and I am ready to finally dive in and tell you everything about my tagging and pricing and barcode process. So number one was writing down the prices and quantities of all my plushies, which I am starting to do on this spreadsheet. So I am doing it electronically. Don't look at my handwriting, by the way. It looks better on paper, not as good on my tablet, but it was easier for me to erase and make mistakes and not print it out, so I did do it on my tablet. So I started off by listing off my products, my SKU numbers, my quantities, my prices, and it gave me a total value. Anyone who does markets or possibly conventions and sells plushies or any type of product should definitely use this. After I put my inventory on there, decide what my SKU numbers will be, then I add it to my Square website, and I guess if you're interested, I could pop up a mock-up here of one of my items. Because I had all new inventory for this convention, I had to add every item manually. I had to add the prices manually, the SKU numbers. I did categorize all my items by small, medium, and large. Small would be any mini item. Anything under $20, anything over $20 is medium, and anything over, I'd say $35 would be a large item, depending on how big it is. So Haku here would be considered a medium-sized item. This was a pattern test for Ivory Rose Artistry, by the way. But after I add it into my Square and I have my SKU number and pricing all set out with the label, name of each item, then it comes on to tagging. I already showed you how I tag before, but let me share with you again. I mocked up these business cards from Canva. They have 2 tags each, so I split it down the middle. The front is my business name, and the back has care instructions for plushies. It says, "Thank you for adopting me, hand wash or cycle in pillowcase on gentle, lay flat to dry." So those are my care instructions for most of my plushies. If there are specialty details or something should not be washed, I do make it clear when it's a specialty item, but most of the time, all of my general items can be washed that way. So I left this blank space here on the bottom, if you can see, and that is going to be where my barcode goes. That's where I used to put the price. I would just write the price out. I took some trial and error with my barcode system, but I do use Canva, so I did try a couple different ways, and I failed a couple different ways. But I eventually found a barcode app through Canva. It is free to use, I believe. I do pay for Canva, so it could be through the paid version, so you can see what it looks like. So I do have the Fomemo printer. Let me show you my printer. Thermal label printer. It is connected to some pink 1 inch by 2 inches. I'm going to show it to you on my Canva just so you can see what it is, but this is the free barcode. I did 004 SKU and 005. I put the price beneath it. The sizing is completely up to you. I wanted to make sure I could have 2 printout per label here. So I'm going to take this image and I'm going to go to Label Life with print through my Fomemo printer. After I add the image, I make it 2 by 1 inch. Then I'm going to hit print. And it'll spit them out for me. Now, these happen to fit perfectly on my tags, and they happen to scan with my barcode reader, so let me share with you the barcode reader that I use. It was on Amazon. It was pretty affordable. It's called Eyoyo, E-Y-O-Y-O. Honestly, I chose it because it is the smallest. It looked affordable, and it looked like it worked for my needs. And it comes with this pamphlet of other barcodes. So if you want it to be silent, you can have it silent. If you want it to sleep, or if you want it to automatically power off after 30 seconds, there are different barcodes in here to tell it what to do, but it's pretty simple. Literally one button, it Bluetooths to my phone, and it works with the Square app, which is number one to me because I use my Square app for everything. That's how I process things on my website, and that's also how I process in person at markets. I have the $50 Square reader. So after I have my barcodes printed, I'm then going to cut them in half because I don't need two barcodes on one. This is what it'll look like. So it says the price on there for people shopping. It has all the information on it. And then I take a loop tie, which this is thanks to my friend Victoria, Comfort Loops. Before I was just using yarn and tying yarn through each plushie, which is totally fine too. And honestly, I would still be doing that if she didn't show me these things. The only problem is you do need scissors. That is the one concern, is you do need to cut them off, but they are perfect. The only problem with my tagging process is it's pretty manual, as you see, so I have to cut these barcodes out. I have to cut my cards in half. I have to hole punch them. I have to put the little sticker on there, and then I take my little loopy tie, put it through this, and then the plushie. Normally I try putting it through the arm or the ear of the plushie, and that is it. We are done. We now have it input manually on our Square. We have it input on a tracker so that I can see it physically somewhere for my inventory for the event. We can see it at point of sale. Currently a one-man band. I don't have other people helping me, and this is just how I do it. It is the most affordable because I do pay Vistaprint, but I get 2 tags per business card. I also am splitting the stickers up in half, so that is also cut cost. It's not the highest cost. I do get to manually choose how many I'm doing, how many I'm printing of each item. I don't just have a bulk stash here. I'm printing as I need. And anything that is a multiplication item, so anything that is like a basket full of Kirby's, I'm going to have a barcode behind my counter that I'll be able to scan and easily ring them up, but the people just purchasing will just see a big sign that I still have to create my signage for. Nonetheless, I finally have my barcode system down, and I'm so excited to share with you all my inventory for this event. Are you ready to see all the plushies? It's plushie time. Now to go over all the patterns and pricing for all my plushies. I pulled them all out. I have half of a bag done, so I'm going to go through half of it now, and then I'll come back when I'm done with the other half. But starting off strong, my Kakashi pattern that just released today. I put a price tag of $70 on him, so I have one. Actually, I have 2 Kakashis. The other one I just have to finish up the green coat. Same thing, I have 2 Narutos for $60. I just have to finish the headband on the other one. We've got this link that I made a while ago. He's $50. This is a pattern by Crochetlandia. I purchased it from her website, but she also has them on Etsy. This is Licky Tongue. He's $65. This is a pattern by Ivory Rose Artistry. He is awesome and giant. I made him in Sweet Snuggles Light, and I gave him the Bloom belly patch. This is Nimbus. Nimbus is $65. It's a pattern by Kai's Crochet Corner. Her patterns are adorable. He has 6 legs and a little star on his tail, 4 sets of wings. This is another Naruto in a skinnier yarn. This one is $32. He's still a character, and he's still bigger than the baby Naruto. We've got Mini Nezuko. She is a pattern by Melly Inspired Crochet. It's actually a little ballerina pattern I modded to be like Nezuko. She's $28. This is Jiraiya Pervy Sage, also my pattern that released today, and he is $70. Look at all his hair. He's got the 3 in the back. He's got the face framing hair. Honestly, if he doesn't sell at this convention, I'm for sure keeping this plushie, probably on my bed somewhere or on my computer desk because he is so cool. They're Naruto. He's $60. I might also finish embroidering his, add the embroidery to his headband. I might not though, because I liked him plain. This is the Kakashi bear. This is actually Theo the teddy bear, but I think it's Lil's Lovies. He is $60. Oh, he's $50, sorry. But I modded the teddy bear to be like Kakashi. You might remember some of my inventory if you've watched some of my other market videos because I have brought some of these to other events before. This is Baby No Face, and this is Totoro by Ivory Rose Artistry. This is coming out, they're either out now or coming out soon, and then this is Haku. So these are all her Ghibli Studio patterns. I have
Totoro and Haku at 28 because they have more details, and No Face is more simple, he's 25. These are my pride and joy. I would love to make some more of these, and honestly, if I had time, I totally would, but I don't know if I have time to do that right now. In the future, I'm definitely going to be making more of those. So by Ivory Rose Artistry is Amara, the dragon. She's a plague doctor, so she's got the white mask, purple dead eyes, and Amara is $70. She's got the dead tail. She's pretty cool. Her tail's really long too. Sailor Moon, this is a pattern by Crochetlandia. Again, I made this around the time that I made the other link. She is $70. She got a big head and tiny body. I'm planning on making my own version of Sailor Moon, hopefully in a tiny body, but I'm charging $70 for her because she's really big. She took a long time. A lot of little details. Mini Naruto, he is 25. Bite-sized, I love these. I should probably call them bite-sized. They're cute, huh? Pattern test I did for the Magic Circle Crochet. She has got really cool patterns too, so if you have time, you should check her page out. I did 3D print some special details on this guy, like his Boko bow and his Master Sword. He is $90. I don't really want to sell him, but I have to. So I'm bringing him, and obviously he has a price tag, but if he doesn't sell, I will not be upset. I want to make money from this convention, but I'm attached to some of them, like this one specifically. But I'm also trying to make money, so it's like, I can make myself another one, you know? This is Sprigatito. This is by Lemon Cat Crochet, and holy moly, is this a labor of love. This is probably the coolest, one of the coolest plushies I've ever made. Very detailed. There's so many pieces to her. Gotta sew her ear down maybe a little bit, but Sprigatito is one of my favorites too, and she is $200. I think she has like 17 or 18 pieces sewn onto her, and specialty eyes, you know. She's cool. She's huge also, like she's pretty big. Almost the biggest plushie I'm bringing. Primrose, the pixie or the fairy. This is by Crochet by Kelsey. She's got cool patterns too, but she's got fluffy wings, and she's supposed to be like a moon dancer pink fairy. She is $75. She's pretty big as well. Pretty big plushie. Then I've got Sadness. This is my mod on Melly Inspired Crochet's free Joy Miss Glee pattern. So she is $30, Miss Sadness, and I have her partner Joy, and she's also going to be $30. I have a couple of Paisleys, which is my bunny pattern I released. So I've got blue paisley, I've got this paisley, and I've also got strawberry. Oh, over here. And they are $25 a piece. So that is one bag of inventory. I'm going to go finish tagging and marking up the other half. Wish me good luck because this is taking me all day. I was hoping to be able to prep some more, but that is coming to not be true because I don't have enough time in the day. It's just taking me a long time. I finally got the hang of it like I showed you earlier, so I'm glad that I know what I'm doing now. I look like a mess because I am a mess. You know, this is a representation of my brain right now. I'm both nervous and so excited to be vending at an anime convention. I feel like I had enough time and I knew well in advance I was going to be there. The problem is kind of the stuff that happened in my life around the time, and the prep time that I had was cut in half. So I do feel nervous that I don't have enough inventory, enough small things. As you can see, I have a lot of big things. So I really need to focus my time on tiny things. And you guys all know that is not my jam. I am not the best at motivating myself to make tiny things, so wish me luck. I'll check in with you when I'm done with the other half. I have tagged more items. I'm not completely done yet. There's still like a quarter of a bag full of plushies left, but let me share with you the next round. Got Melancholy, these two, also by Kai's Crochet Corner. These are going to be $35. I've got a lot of Mellies sitting or laying teeny babies. So this is Arlo. All of her teeny babies I'm going to charge $25. So $25, Samba $25, and I have Maurice $25. So that is 3 sleepy babies, $25 a piece. I've got Sia and Pen, her Pocket Monsters pattern. These are all going to be $30 because they have more details. So we've got Squirtle, I have Eevee, and Charmander. These are all $30 a piece. I also have a Bulbasaur. 4 Sia and Pen babies that I have. I'm going to be sad when all of them sell because these were like a little time period of healing for me, and I made all of these in that time. Bulbasaur is my favorite. I am biased, and if he doesn't sell, again, I think I'm going to keep him. I did a pattern test for Gion. It's hard to say her name, but it is a quirky bunny. This is like a Harley Quinn bunny by her. I'm charging $48 for her because of the details, and she is pretty intricate with color changes. A part of the Pocket Monsters, I'm going to be selling Horsia for $30 with the same QR code, with the same barcode. But this is a pattern by Ivory Rose Artistry. Horsey. Not Horsia, sorry, Horsey. I guess I was saying that wrong. Apologies. Ivy, the baby dinosaur. These are $25 a piece. I've had these for a while, but they're really cute. It's another pattern by Ivory Rose Artistry. Have you guys been counting how many patterns of hers I have? These mini birds. This is a puffin by, I think it's James, something James puffin. This is Percival the puffin. And then this is Oreo the ostrich. This was a pattern test I did for Willow and Wild. I love this pattern. And these are both going to be $18. As promised, she's going to be $30 with Sadness. And I'm going to put Moana with Nezuko. This was a Poema Studio pattern that I modified. Actually, this is a Palm and Posies, I think. I think it's Kekona, the Hawaiian doll. It is October 5th, the next day. I have completed all my inventory. I have even added it all up to give you guys a total of how much money I'm going to be potentially bringing inventory-wise to this convention. There are a couple things I just wanted to say. It looks like there's going to be a hurricane heading our way. We did just deal with Helene. She did head up north, so everyone up north got hit a lot harder. We did deal with a lot of influx sandy water. A lot of my neighbors, not directly where I live in my community, but nearby in my town, did get really sadly affected and devastated by Helene. My family and my house is okay. We dealt with the inland river flooding. We didn't deal with the ocean surge. So I did want to just say if we could all have a minute and just pray for those people who are dealing with devastation with Helene and everyone in North Carolina and just all the tragedy that's happening up north. But we are anticipating another hurricane called Milton coming up very soon. I think it'll hit directly in my area based on the tracking so far. It is only Saturday right now, so I'm going to just pray that it goes in another direction or just fizzles away or is not as strong as we are all thinking it's going to be. The water is really high right now because they did open the dam in my area because of water, so we're doing okay. We're not in any danger right now, but we're preparing, for a hurricane coming up this week. But I'm still going to anticipate until I hear otherwise. There's going to be a convention still next weekend. I do hope it happens because of the preparation that I'm doing, but if it gets postponed, I do understand. So with all that being said, my family is safe, we are okay, and I just wanted to throw that weather update in here because I did talk to you guys a lot about the flooding and what happened with my house with Debbie and the tropical storm and the hurricane that we dealt with back then. Obviously now it is the beginning of October and we're still dealing with some storms. I would like to show you, if you couldn't tell, I cleaned up the background because I had the time to clean up a bit and I was able to go through all the inventory, add it all up using my friend's tracker. I gave everything SKU numbers and barcodes, so thank goodness that is all done. I've had this girl for a while. I made her just about a year ago. This is Rapunzel. I have her marked for $45 just because look at her hair. And I know I did a good job on her. She's held up so well. I don't feel like the quality is bad. She is made in velvet, so I am keeping her at $45. I didn't follow a pattern for this, by the way. I completely modified her entire being, so she doesn't have a pattern. Taking the plushies in this big bag. If you're curious, by the way, when my house flooded, I did have to throw away all of my moving bags. All my plushies were being stored in. They all got thrown away. And the two that I did have the plushies in at the time were ripped up. So they weren't very useful anyway of keeping things clean and safe from, dandruff and dust and normal things in life. So I got these resealable, it's actually for sucking all the air out. There's a little pocket to suck all the air out and make it skinny that I actually got for my trip to Nebraska when I'm at Victoria, Comfort Loops. But I've been using it for my plushies ever since that trip, and it has held up, and they're not getting squished. I don't suck the air out, and I'm anticipating it being easy to deal with this bag at the convention. So I think I'm just gonna take my plushies like this, and then I can also see where they are, what's in there. It's not like a mystery to me. The other bags that I had were kind of clouded, so I couldn't tell exactly what was in there. This is much more convenient for finding the plushie that I need to find if I need to photograph something, or at the convention if I'm trying to set up a certain area. So I am gonna be keeping them in these resealable vacuum seal bags. That's what they're called, vacuum seal bags. They're these laying cows. This is Huey, the Highland cow by @Dawn Crochet. This is a pattern test I did for her, I'd want to say in February or March. So this is quite a while ago. They have hearts on their back. They're very cute. This is a couple, and they are $35. So they're just like laying cows. I hope someone loves them because I loved making them, but no one has gotten them yet, and it's been a couple months. I've taken them to a lot of events. Is Posy the cow. This is by Posy Creates. Yes, it is by Posy Creates. I had to just double check to make sure I was not wrong. This is the cutest cow to date I think I've made. Obviously she's ginormous, but I'm in a tester group with her right now for her little mini version. So I'm gonna make a mini version of the same cow with the same color eyes and same coloring. And then I'm also hopefully gonna make a brown version. So I'll make a Jersey cow, and I'll make a, I forget what the other kind of cow is called. I know it's a Jersey, and there's another name. It starts with an H. I used to watch this guy who made cow videos. I used to watch him all the time. He was like informational about owning a cow farm or a dairy farm, and how he took care of his cows all the time. He was really cool, actually, and that's where I learned all the cow lingo. But it's been a while and I forgot. I say it's like Holstein. I'm for sure wrong about that, but it's something like that. This is Kato. I made it like a Haku Kato dragon. This is by Lemon Cat Crochet, and my price tag is $70 on him or her. I think it's Kato. Now that I heard her say it in a video, I believe it's Kato, but I've been saying Kato for so many months now that I feel like Kato is right, even though it's not, because she called it Kato. So I'm sorry. This is Kato. I've been saying his name wrong the entire time. Next up on the dragon list is Minnow. This is by Ivory Rose Artistry. The pattern is, at least I added the fur, and Minnow is $68. Got this little dinosaur snuggler. This is a pattern by Zero Gravity Crochet. Cutest little stegosaurus ever, and I made it baby safe, and it's got little rainbow in the back. And it's $40. I don't know if I said that. It was $45, but he is kind of mini, so I'm going with $40. I felt like that was right. There's no glittery safety eyes in it to bump the price up, so I'm leaving it at $40. I have 20 whales from All From Jade, free pattern on her Instagram. These are $5 a piece. And I realized when I look at the bag, I don't have any black ones, like any orcas, but I do plan on making some orca whales to go in here too, so maybe I'll have 4 or 5 more in black. This is my paisley pattern. It's the strawberry paisley. My paisleys are $25. My little rainbow buns that are left, I did sell the purple and pink ones. These are the remaining. These are going to be $15 a piece. This pattern was a test I did for Crochet by Callie. It's her chunky bun pattern, so cute. More. Also in my $15 category is, this is Binks. This is actually a deer, but this is by Ivory Rose Artistry. Binks is $15. He looks like Dobby, so if someone asks what it is, I'm probably going to say it's Dobby. It's supposed to be a little deer, but I couldn't do the French knots. I tried like 10 times and I just had to give up. I know people linked some videos for me on how to do them, but I'm not good at it. The test I did for Studio Stitch CA. These are the bunnies, the infamous bunnies I talk about quite a bit on this channel because I really do love them. These are Belle and Scarlet, so they're like after fairy tale fables. And both of them are $65 because there was a lot of work that went into them. They're pretty big bunnies. And even then I'm probably undercharging for the time and the work that went into them. But it was a pattern test, it was for fun, and I'm ready for them to find a home. Look at her wings, like she's got full-on wings and a flower crown. I'm ready for her to find a home. Next pattern test I did was for Straight Up Handmade. It was a little alien baby. These were really cool. I forget what his name is, but he's $22. I sold the purple one, but I guess I didn't. I still have the purple bunny. One more. I know earlier I was showing you the little mini birds that I had that were $18. This is one more. This is Percival, the puffin. I feel like it's like Jim and James or James. The pattern will be linked down below, but little puffin pattern. So cute and tiny and easy. I do have to say it is like more work for like a tiny project. Like it does have like work involved. But I feel like, especially if you're making it for a special someone, or if you have like a plan to make a setup specifically and have the puffin a part of it, it's worth it. I just wanted to make it because it was cute, and I'm stuck with them, but they're super cute. And then I have the snail council, so I've got Strawbert. I got 2 Strawberts. This is Clementhony, Clementimothy, I think. 1. Eggplanthony. This is fan favorite. I want to make another one with like the light snail body. 2 Bluebirds. I don't know if they're called Bluebirds, but I've been calling them Bluebird. And all of my snail council, I think, is going to be $15 to $18. But they're going to be in a basket and they're going to have a price sign. We are getting to the end. We're almost at the end of my inventory. So I finally finished the 2 Totoros. These felt eyes just look so derpy. It's just like the funniest. This really is what Totoro's face looks like though. He also has whiskers, but I don't know if I'm adding whiskers to them because there's not a lot of space on the face to put them, you see? There's not much space. These, again, are going to be $18, and I have 4 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The eyes just kill me on those. Also, with silly eyes is Psyduck, you guessed it. He's just the derpiest. 18 as well. I know I was feeling 22 earlier, but I'm feeling like 18 now that I've like finished him. The same price as Totoro, right? I mean, he is bigger. But how many Psyduck fans are there, you know? He could be $18. For 20 is going to be my Shrek and Fiona. Either going to call him Schmeck or Schrock to juke on the name. But Schmeck or Schrock is 20, and so is Princess Fifi. I don't know what her name's going to be. I'm not 100% sure. I like Phoebe. But then I had so many good suggestions in the comment section that I really don't know what to go with now. So this is going to be out for testing today because I told everyone I'm choosing testers today. So that'll be out for testing. Hopefully the pattern will be released sometime next week. I think it'll be released on Thursday. My inventory, do you want to know how much it all totals up to? Are you interested in that? Do you guys care about that number? But look, I'm going to show you the 2 big bags. There's 1 bag. Other bag. So we've got this much inventory and it totals up to $3,000. Give or take. And I have like this bag of like miscellaneous, like the Pikachu and the Kirby's, like the little tiny ones. I don't know if you guys understand with the convention stuff, but I looked into it and it seems like as long as a percentage of your booth is original content or not copyrighted art, you don't have 100% copyrighted art, you're allowed to have character fan art pieces in your selling area. So to my understanding, I'm not labeling everything. Maybe I don't want to have the copyright conversation here. I don't want to have the character conversation here, but I do just want to say conventions are notorious for having character pieces, inspired pieces, and I obviously made some inspired pieces that I'm bringing and maybe going to be selling. I don't want to have that kind of conversation here. I don't want like the negative chats. I want it to all just be positive. I'm just sharing my experience with you. And a part of that experience is the characters that I'm making, but I also am going to have non-character pieces. I'm actually going to be working on, I want to work on axolotls today and banana geese, I think is what they're called. They look like silly banana with faces on them and beaks. So I think I'm going to make those today. I am 100% still completing those orders. I don't want you guys to think I'm not doing them. I'm definitely completing them. I hope you guys are okay with me taking a little bit more time, finish this part of my life so that I can really focus and give you guys quality product with freebies and I can feel good about what you're getting and that you will love your order. I don't want to send you bare minimum orders. I don't want to complete these rushing. I want them to look beautiful. I want you to love them. And I understand if you need them in a rush, you can send me a message. I will 100% refund anyone who wants one. I understand this is your money and you chose to spend it on my shop, and I appreciate it. Some of you guys were just trying to help me during the flood and you don't mind when you get your eyes. Thank you so much. If you're one of those people, thank you so much. And I know I messaged a couple people who asked when you're going to be getting the orders. I just wanted to give you a little update that because I already got out a large chunk of them, and I really did get those out as soon as I could, the next half, the remainder that I need to send out, I will be shipping them. I just need a little bit more time because, as you can see, I'm doing this and I have to do this. I don't think you understand that I prepaid for this and it was expensive as a small business. You know what I mean? And it was something that I can't undo after it already happened. So to try and just be prepared for every section of my life, I want to give you guys the best. I want to show up here on YouTube and let you guys know. If you supported my small business this far, if you've been watching my videos, and if you did place an order with me, or if you're just watching and hanging out and being kind, thank you so much. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for watching my convention prep, and I'm definitely going to have more once I crochet a little bit more. So this is Miss Lady, and this is Mr. Coconut. They're super cute. We're just praying. We don't know how bad the hurricane's going to be. It was wobbling. It looked like it was going to be Tampa, and then it shifted down, and it looked like we were going to be in the eye of the hurricane at the 11 o'clock check-in with the National Hurricane Center last night. So we all had a lot of panic and planning, and we were talking about every single scenario. Yeah, Monday, my dog had an emergency and needed to get her toenail. Her toenail was bent all the way backwards, and it was broken skin, bloody, pretty gory, pretty gross. Her one nail was just completely bent, and she was crying and limping around. So took her to the vet, and thankfully they had one spot open before the hurricane happened. We took her there, and she had to get that removed. So she literally had a surgery the day before hurricane. She's on medicine now, and that was really stressful for me, and I had to coordinate with my work to leave early to get her and take care of her. Honestly, it's been a lot. At least we had a good amount of time to prepare for this one, and my family has been working really hard. We've all been working really, really hard to make sure that as much as we can do, we're doing. Property up more. My dad did raise up the property, and we did tarp, and we did move the animals early. My city and my house right now is sitting in the eye of the hurricane. It's a Sunday. I'm getting back to you quite a couple days later. Honestly, I can't even remember the last time I checked in with you, but let me just catch you up to speed. Are you ready? That convention I was supposed to go to that I had kept prepping for, actually, even after I shut my camera off the last time when I shared with you all of my inventory. These little guys, I think I had 7 or 8 of them. I actually have a list of stuff to talk to you about, of things that happened after my last check-in. Basically, another hurricane was barreling towards my house. If you have watched any of the news recently, you will know what hurricane I'm talking about. Hurricane Milton, which ended up hitting my city on Thursday, so a couple days ago. We have spent the last couple days working around the property, picking up trees, or my whole family has, and I had to go back to work because we had forced closures at my full-time job, and I had to go back to work and try and clean up and fix and help everyone who ended up needing medication. So the convention I was prepping for, not happening. I really did want to just update you and talk to you about that really quick because it has been a couple days, and I'm going to back up until last week. So last week on Saturday, when we knew the hurricane was going to be hitting my city, reached out to the convention people well in advance, and I let them know what was going on, what the weather looked like, and I was concerned about vending with them, but that I still wanted to go or try to go if it permitted or if it turned. I had full intention of wanting to sell, but the weather was looking bad, and we were projected to have some issues and travel issues and resource issues after that, which ended up happening. So my city had some mandatory evacuations in certain parts. I was not in a mandatory evacuation zone. You also have to take into consideration that there are so many things that go into evacuating. Not everyone can evacuate. Not every single person who lives here can leave and evacuate. To pick and choose, and there is a priority list, and we were not on the priority list to evacuate. We were still terrified and scared for our lives because of how this hurricane looked. At 11 p.m. the night before, the eyeball was very pressurized and black, deep, and everything was very structured and scary, category 5, barreling at my town. Thank God, grateful that it ended up weakening the way that it did and hitting us the way that it did, because we did get, tree losses, and the water rose, but the water did not come in. We did not flood. We're very, very lucky this happened the way that it did, and I know some people were still devastated who lived on the Gulf and had surge, and I'm so sorry. We didn't deal with surge last time, but we did flood. I flooded with Debbie, and I shared with you guys how terrible all that was and dealing with it after. Flooding is not fun. Neither is injury or death to hurricane and natural disasters and sandstorms. The list goes on with natural disasters. I just want to say how grateful we are that we did make it out of Milton after a direct hit from a category 3 hurricane, and we were fine. But because of Milton and because of where my business was starting to go at the time, since this is my business channel, I did want to just talk about the steps that were and were not taken from the directors of this convention. Now, I do want to say I am not going to be selling with them when they have their next event. I'm not going to be selling there next year, and I'm not going to be vending with these people again. But I would like to just share my experience. I feel like it needs to be addressed and known, because I'm the only person right now who knows how it felt or what I was going through at the time. And I feel like it needs to be said out loud. So I'm going to say it here with what happened and the honesty of how things went down. The hurricane was expected to land on Tuesday, which it ended up landing on Wednesday evening on the west coast of Florida. Thankfully not in the Panhandle, because the Panhandle had just been hit by Hurricane Helene, which was also devastating, absolutely devastating to the Carolinas and to Georgia. And we had a lot of water here, but it was not the same as Debbie for us. Debbie was devastating. Everyone has different scenarios with their different housing situations. We did not evacuate with Milton because we were not in an evacuation zone. Everyone was already leaving. There were no resources. I had to work up until the hurricane day. We had that day off on Wednesday, but I had to work all up until then. We had no time to get enough resources. You need the money to evacuate. You need to be able to take care of and bring your animals. Or if you're going to a shelter, they do not take all kinds of animals at shelters. They only take crated dogs and cats, which if you do not have a crate, which nothing is open at this point, you have no way of bringing your pet. You'd have to leave them home, which is cruel, in a situation where you don't know what's going to happen to them. So there's just so many factors, and people online are pretty rude and say you're an idiot for not evacuating. People can be really harsh, and a lot of the comments I saw on the weather channels was disturbing, very nasty about not evacuating, being stupid for not evacuating. Not everyone has the money to leave or buy a hotel or the gas or the car or the means of taking their animals. The best they can do is hunker down, which is a word that was said a lot, which is kind of a joke now. Everyone's saying hunker down, but it is true. You need to. At some point, some people need to do that. Obviously, if you are going to be dealing with 14 feet of storm surge, that is unrealistic for you to survive, and you need to evacuate. Those people needed to evacuate, and the roads were backed up for hours and hours and hours, and no one was even able to escape, which makes evacuating even worse and impossible. So, all that being said, my family did not evacuate. We decided to make a judgment call based on the time that we had. We did the best we could for our animals and our situation. We made a safe room, we boarded up windows, and we stayed. Knew the water could be an issue and that the rise could be an issue, but we deal with inland freshwater flooding. We do not deal with storm surge where I specifically live. And we were lucky to not flood with this one the way that we did with Debbie. Debbie sat and rained and rained and rained and poured. And Milton did not rain and pour. It was very windy, middle of the night, so it was very loud, scary wind. You could hear the trees, you could hear everything. And it was scary to be outside. You can just imagine the lack of, at this point, the priority. My convention prep stopped after I did some of the possums. My convention prep had to end because I could not worry about making more crochet inventory. Convention prep had stopped with Milton now coming straight for us, and for me still having to work all up until Milton. And then Milton came, Milton happened, and we picked up after, but the question still stood, am I going to go to the convention? I technically have the inventory. I technically tagged everything and input everything electronically so I could go. The question at that point became, can I even find the gas? Because gas was eliminated. You could not find gas at a gas station. They were literally tapped out of gas at every gas station. If they did have gas, the line to get there, you would run out of gas waiting for the gas, if that makes sense, which I have never experienced before in this way. I had messaged the coordinators 2 times, very, very politely, letting them know at first, not knowing how the storm was going to be. At this point, they had sent daily updates saying like, yep, the convention's still on, yep, still on, still good, no worries, come on. And then they said that it was going to be delayed and that the load-in would be delayed. And then they told us to send times for what time we wanted to load in. And that's where I ultimately emailed finally and let them know that I would not be able to load in because I could not make it to the convention because of resources was going to be an issue. I did say that. I feel like I was very professional, very polite about it. I would not have made this decision or canceled my spot vending with anybody. The situation did not permit me to go. It's a difficult thing I've been prepping for this for a while. I don't want to go because I definitely do. After I sent the second email saying that I will not be able to vend, I asked for reimbursement of my fee and or a position at a future event and heard nothing. I heard crickets. All they were doing was updating once a day on their social media pages, which I was active on. I was active on Discord. I was active on every platform that they could be active on. They were just posting daily updates saying that this convention was still happening, which was okay, but then disheartening to not hear back when I said that I'm going to be experiencing a personal impact. After not hearing back from them, I was pretty stressed out because then I started reading comments and people were commenting the same thing, asking for refunds in the comment section of their social media pages. Other people were asking for refunds. Other people were asking, hey, for those of us who cannot make it, who need a refund, will you guys please do that? Can you guys please respond to our emails? It's definitely not the only one having this issue. I started reading even more comments saying that this convention has a very particular no refund policy and that you had to do something specific in order to get the refund, but that they do not provide it and that will not be an option. So if you cannot go, you lose your money. And at this point, I was gut-wrenched, worried sick that I was now losing quite a chunk of money. If you guys have ever looked into investing into vending at a convention, especially with plushies where you need a 10 by 10, which is a bigger size booth, it is expensive. This is not an affordable market. This is something that you go to for 3 days to make quite a bit of money from specialty items. I paid this up front knowing that I would hopefully make a couple times more than the booth fee in sales because of just how well attended they're supposed to be. And because it's a 3-day event, I emailed a couple times very politely. I let them know very honestly that I would not be able to load in. They emailed us again with a vendor list of who's going to be there. You could tell that a big chunk of vendors could not go anymore. A big chunk of vendors. And the guest celebrities were no longer going to be there really at all either. So you could tell there were travel issues. There were no planes going in or out of Florida. There was no gas anywhere. And everyone who had left the south went up north and is now staying in all the hotels up north. So the attendee list was not going to be great anyway. The outcome was not going to be a great outcome because of the natural disaster. So many of the vendors, anyone who lived in Florida below the event was going to be impacted in some way. And in a lot of places, there still isn't power on either coast. This storm affected a lot of people. So I felt it was really unethical to not even offer a delay, another date, or even next year. It was just no communication. It was silent. It is what it is. I can't go anymore. I have to be here for my family. I have to be here for work. Everything that you planned is now not going to happen. And then even the people, they're not understanding. They were not caring. It seemed like the show must go on, and the show was going on for them. And so they sent a vendor list that morning. And of course, because I gave them no load-in time, my company was no longer on the load-in list. And I was just honestly really irritated because I had at this point reached out very politely. I understand there's a no refund policy, and this is not a rain or shine situation. This is not a rainy day. This is a hurricane that knocked out our power, knocked out our internet, knocked out all of our cellular, not even 2 days before the convention. Granted, 4 hours later, they messaged everyone, and thankfully they said that they're postponing it, and it is going to now happen in November, which is a week before Thanksgiving, and I had decided to opt out, and I'm not going to be going to the rescheduled event, but they did reschedule it, and then they did offer us a booth at the next year if we wanted to, but I'm going to honestly just pull myself out of the situation. I'm not going to be going to Jacksonville or driving up there or vending with them because of the ethicalness of the situation. They waited until 12 o'clock on Friday. to say anything. And that leaves just sour. It left such a sour taste in my mouth because I feel I cannot say this for sure. I'm just saying this to you, but I feel like it got to a point where the center did not want to be liable, and so they pulled out. That's how it seems. But it didn't seem like they wanted to at all consider the risks or impact of anyone else but their city. And this hurricane was projected to hit the entire Florida. At the very end of the day, they did offer everything that they needed to. They just happened to offer it very, very last minute. On a positive note, me and my family are safe, my animals are safe, we are not flooded, and I'm just taking extra shifts at work, so I've been pretty inactive on social media. I am in a couple pattern tests that I'm finishing up, and I just wanted to share with you one of the projects that I've been working on because it's pretty special to me, and if you've been watching me for a minute, you know who it is. Drumroll please. Worlds, which I watch every year, which is League of Legends esports, but Arcane is coming out soon. Give her some grace. She will have a shirt, I promise. Right now, she doesn't, because I'm still working out like how I want to do it, but this is her. If you know who this is, she'll have a triangle shirt. It's a girl. She's got 2 braids, and she's got this blue hair, and she'll have a shark gun. It's Jinx. That's Jinx. I'm making Jinx right now. And I'm going to be calling her Hex, I think. Also have to finish this pattern I've been working on for these guys, if you remember them from my last video. This is Schmeck, my mom, and a couple commenters, I think, commented Schmeck. This is Phoebe, I believe. Phoebe and Schmeck. Hope you enjoy those names. But they're going to be out soon. I just need to finish some photos. My poor testers have been through it. I told them what was going on, but I had a tester open during all this, and they were really kind and patient with me. So if you're one of my testers, thank you so much. But yeah, they're these little tiny guys, and they'll be probably on my website soon for the patterns. They're really tiny and quick to make. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. I haven't crocheted much in the past couple days, but I did want to let you know, now that the convention is not happening at all, I'm not going to be going. I did want to just say, if you did place a safety eye order with me before I flooded or while I flooded with Debbie, I'm going to be getting you out as soon as humanly possible, and I'm going to be working on that now. We still don't have power yet. As soon as we have power and we're not running on generator, I will 100% be putting out your orders, and I will be giving you guys freebies. You guys waited for me long enough. Thank you so much if you place an eye order with me. I will be opening my eye shop soon also because I am no longer convention prepping. I no longer have any market materials. I did go in the shed and look at all my market materials, all the stuff that I was using to sell at markets last year, and a lot of it is ruined because of everything. So I am not going to be reinvesting in that at this very moment. I'm not going to be selling at any outdoor events. I think it'd be nice to do a winter market, but at the moment I'm not lined up or prepared to do that. I'm not ready to stress out about that right now. And I'm going to just be painting, and here on YouTube, I'm going to focus my efforts more here and with my painting, my website. So if you did place an order with me, thank you so much. I'm sorry for the wait, and I promise I'll give you guys plenty of cool freebies. I'm going to throw in a couple different things to each package, and I'm going to really make it worth your wait because you were all so patient and nice. And I will, again, also be opening the eye shop, so that'll be an option. And I'll probably be expediting my Patreon and the patterns and that. So this is a blessing in disguise in a way at this point, but because of all the natural disasters, I'm sorry, and thank you for being there and being patient, and if you watch my videos, thank you so much. This was a long one, and I know you watched a lot of prep for nothing, so if you waited till the end to see all the juicy tea about the convention, thanks for hanging around. I promise to have another video up in a week, and I'll see you then. Check it out.